My fellow Illuminaries, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gabe, and this is a quick combat guide for anybody who's, well, super confused about how this works. So first of all, this is your character. Hope that's going well. Second of all, you use your left stick to move this thing on the PlayStation. Now, if you're on the Xbox, probably the same things. Left stick. So you move it around like so, right? Then you can use the right stick to move your camera up, down. So think of your right stick as your camera and your left stick as you're moving it, pretty much. Then you press X to attack your enemy. Now, every green action matches up to the bottom green action at the bottom of the screen. So green, green, orange, orange. Now, your green actions will always have more than your orange actions. There will always be more green actions than orange actions because your green action is your main action. Now, let's start with the basics with attack. You literally click over and you see them. 85% chance main hand attack, 2 to 9 damage. 2 is your lowest damage, 9 is your maximum amount of damage. And your main hand attack is your attack using your weapon in this hand. Now, to get to this menu, you just press the R2 button and hold it and go, which is like the right 2. And then you can go up using your left stick to the character sheet. And this will basically tell you which weapon you're using, and you can switch them out. As long as now that will use an action in combat to switch out your weapons. So keep that in mind. So in this case, we roll for whoever goes first. So Lazel is the one going first in this situation, and Will at the same time. So because of the cool feature in Baldur's Gate, you can guess. You can take either turn first. Now let's get down to the basics. Also, you got help, which if your teammate is down but not completely gone of this world, you can get them up. Disengage to get away from the opponent without proccing opportunity attack. So I'm just going to demonstrate that real quick.
On the move.
So while you're here, you see this is threaten, and if you examine, threaten is if an enemy is close, they have a disadvantage on range attack. It got nothing to do with you. As you can see, they said if I move, I provoke an attack of opportunity. This is bad because they will use their reaction to attack you. So basically you get an action, a bonus action, which is orange, and a reaction, which is purple. So the next thing to demonstrate this, to disengage a little bit more, would be dash. And you see that use my action, so that means I can no longer attack. So then I move back out of his attack range, and he takes the opportunity to attack me. So you basically got an action, a bonus action, and one reaction. And to get here, like I said, you hold R2, go up, go to character sheet, R1 twice, and this is your opportunity attacks. And this, the cool thing about this, you can actually toggle it for your side if they want to ask you or not. As you can see, the little doodle pops up. That means a little message will pop on your screen saying, would you like to take the opportunity attack? If you don't turn that on, it will do it on purpose, and that might put you in a few sticky situations in this game. So that pretty much goes after the dash. Let's get, because it doubles your movement speed. So because we doubled our movement speed, we're able to try to get away from this person. And as you can see, my movement speed bar is going down as we go further away. And once you're done, you're done. Now, if you want to jump, which is using a bonus action, you must use it before you put this movement speed meter at the bottom too far down. And this is governed by your strength rating, which you could check in your character sheet. Over there on the right, you see I have 8 strength. That means I have a jumping ability of a newborn baby. Apparently. But nah, you can still jump pretty far. Just not as far as if you had max strength. Go ahead and jump out. Boom. As you see how much movement that took, and it took one of my bonus actions. You cannot attack with a bonus action unless your class kind of dictates that, which, hey, if y'all want to see that, we can do that one day. But you know, plenty of stuff already on YouTube. But I just want a lot of a base combat guide for anybody who's struggling. Now we still have an action to pursue here, so I choose Eldritch Blast, which you can press touchpad to get more information on it. And the key thing we kind of want to see here is what is the attack roll it governs. And as you can see, it says charisma, and basically that helps with your accuracy. Now there's more to it than that, but basically it helps with your accuracy. So you want to buff that stat as much as possible. As you can see, a 95% chance to attack with the Eldritch Blast, and only an 85% to attack with my melee, because I have a higher charisma rating than I do the rating that governs my weapon attack, which we can see. I do it, which is +3. Okay, so now your weapon attacks. Before we get into that, we do have another action we can use called hide. Now you could press R3, which, you know, you click the right stick down and you can see the vision cones. Now if you want to hide from your enemy and kind of take a risk like them trying to find you, you can run over here, proc their attack opportunity, and then use the sneak button. As you can see, I got totally found out immediately. Why? Is because I was in the vision cone when I went to go hide. They will find you immediately. They won't even roll for hiding, because due to Devil's Sight. Look at this. This is how it says, due to Devil's Sight. so you can't even like hide right in front of somebody, but you wouldn't even be able to do that like anyway, so it's not really a big loss. So we're in our turn there, we're in our turn there, and so the enemy gets to move around and use their action, one action. They get to move around, use their action, one action. He gets to use his action, one action. Oh, it's back your turn. And that's a good way to keep up with what's going on. The enemy also, they don't get to cheat. They have one action and one bonus action, unless there's an ability they have specifically. So, and it's usually on bosses. That's a cool thing about this game. It's not, nothing comes out of thin air and says, like in Final Fantasy games, the boss has like 16 attacks because of reasons. Now with the weapon attacks, each weapon you get, like a sword, gets a lacerate or like a rush attack. You know, rush attack kind of lets you get some ground on that. So from here I can rush into the M and put them off balance. And if you're ever like wondering what like something means, like off balance, use the touchpad. It's your best friend. Touchpad is your best friend. Now, there's some keywords like disadvantage on strength dexterity checks and attack rolls. A check is basically like, if there's a piece of ice on the ground and if you would fall, you would do a dexterity check to see if you would fall. You know, basically. Like, hey, are you dexter, you know? So there's different things in the game that, like a shove, for example, which is actually one of the most important actions, and you can use a bonus action. So this would actually check your opponent's so we can shove them and check our athletics. So as you can see, it checked our athletics. And you know, the great part is with the thing I'm going by here is called the combat log, where you can go here with the double sorted icon and you can see what's going on, like in here, and you can even inspect that, and you can see even deeper, like the math that goes into the skill check, which is pretty cool. And which allowed me, so basically the skill check was, you know, 19. I rolled a 19 and I just needed it had a difficulty class of 0, so unless I rolled a 1, I was pushing that fella. That small little imp. So we go over here, as you can see there's meters. Everything's measured in meters. You can switch that to feet. You check your combat log, you get 10 experience. And as you can see, you did 8 slashing damage, and the attack roll and the damage rolls and how it's calculated is right there. So the game doesn't really hide much from you. Now I'm a little low, so the best thing you can do here is use a bonus action. Drink a health pot and use your action to attack the enemy. Probably the best thing you can do, right? I would say if you can, always use your bonus action, but sometimes you can't. Like in this situation, you kind of want to, since Will kind of like a half spell caster, you know, you kind of want to like push this fella out the way. But you see my athletics failed because my strength is lower on Will than it is on me. So basically, the weak guy. So instead of using your melee attack, instead of using your Eldritch Blast, which you can see, since I'm threatened, I have a disadvantage. And you know, actually it still might be better with the disadvantage, but the disadvantage kind of makes you the lowest of 2 rolls on your attack roll go through. So so you roll 2 die basically, and you take the lowest attack roll, and that can really mess up your accuracy. But since my charisma is so much higher than my dexterity here, it doesn't really matter. And I hit him. And then you can see Dark One's Blessing. You're like, man, what's a Dark One's Blessing? Gains temporary HP hit points equal to your charisma modifier. And your charisma modifier, you can head over here, which is super cool. And this will be your charisma modifier. So it'll be +3. No, +4 actually. What am I said +3? Oh, +5. Anyway, as you can see, it went through and enemy down. And now we have 4 temporary hit points, which you would always get hit with your temporary hit points before your actual hit. Pretty cool. Now I don't have an action to actually drink a potion because I went for the shove, so I already put myself in a bad spot there. Now you can cover more distance jumping, as you can see with the movement, than me just moving regularly. I'll be out of movement if I don't jump. If I can jump over here, take way less movement, and then go for the attack, and then you win the fight. So I hope that little tutorial helps. Now I didn't go into like attack rolls too much, or ability checks, or proficiency bonuses, or anything that complicated. Just simple attack, bonus action, reaction, and how those things is just the backbone of the combat in Baldur's Gate 3 and the initiative rolls. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it helped. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. If you have any tips for anybody who comes across my video on the internet, please illuminate them with your great insight, and yeah, y'all be easy.